Okay, so let's just imagine this this little chat about dates. It goes something like this.
Puspa, ada 29 hari di bulan Februari tahun ini. There will be 29 days in February this year.
Bayu, bukannya 30. Why not 30?
Puspa, tidak pernah ada 30 hari di bulan Februari. Biasanya 28 hari. There are never 30 days in February. Usually it's 28 days.
Bayu, tidak, aku cukup yakin Halloween jatuh pada tanggal 30 February. Nope, I'm pretty sure Halloween is on the 30th of February.
Puspa, maksudmu 31 October. You mean the 31st of October.
Bayu, tunggu. Setelah September, bulan apa ya? Wait, which month comes after September?
Wow. I mean, forgetting February's days, getting Halloween's date and month totally wrong.
And then needing a reminder about which month comes next.
Yeah. That little exchange, it's actually from our source material today, and it just perfectly shows how easy it is to get tangled up with dates and times, especially, in a new language.
Absolutely. That potential for confusion is, well, it's pretty clear. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We've got source material right here focused on these essential Indonesian phrases for talking about dates and times for events.
Right. And our mission really is to pull out the key nuggets from this material for you, give you the tools so you don't end up in that kind of calendar confusion.
Avoid the Halloween in February scenario.
Exactly. So to even get started, the source lays out some foundational vocabulary. Think of these as like the basic building blocks.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack those. So we have bulan, that's month. Tunggu is to wait. Tahun means year.
Right.
Setelah is after. Yakin, that's sure.
Yeah, like pretty sure in that dialogue.
Right. And cukup means enough. So pretty sure or enough days, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Then there's biasanya for usually or normally.
Okay. And bukannya, we heard that one, didn't we? Why not? Or isn't it?
Spot on. And finally, maksud, meaning intent or meaning, like when Puspa asks, you mean October 31st.
Got it. So those are the core terms to get us started. Pretty useful stuff.
And once you have those down, the source highlights a couple of really crucial phrases for actually placing events in time. First up is tidak pernah.
Tidak pernah. So the source says it's literally not tidak plus ever, karena. And it's really stressed that these have to be two separate words. Together they mean never.
Yeah, that two-word structure is key. The example given is saya tidak pernah makan daging kambing.
Which means I have never eaten goat meat. Okay, simple meaning, but remember those two words.
And the next one is fascinating, maybe a bit tricky for English speakers. Jatuh pada.
Jatuh pada, literally to fall on. Jatuh is to fall, and pada is like on or in or at.
That's the literal meaning, yeah, to fall on or to fall in. But its use here, talking about time, is really specific.
Okay, how so?
Well, the source explains you use jatuh pada to say the day or the date that an event happens, when it occurs. And it's surprisingly flexible. You can use it for days of the week.
Like the meeting falls on Tuesday.
Exactly. Or specific dates, months, even years or centuries.
So you could say, my birthday falls in May.
Precisely. Rapa jatuh pada hari Selasa. The meeting falls on Tuesday. Ulang tahun saya jatuh pada bulan Mei. My birthday falls in May. That works.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything you can't use it for? Seems pretty broad.
Yes, and this is a really important point the source makes.
Yeah.
You absolutely cannot use jatuh pada for specific clock time. Not for minutes or hours. It's only for placing something within, a larger time frame, a day, a date, a month, a year.
That's a super useful distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't say like the meeting jatuh pada jam 3 falls at 3 o'clock.
No, exactly. That doesn't work. The source gives a good example for dates. Hari Raya Natal jatuh pada tanggal 25 December.
Christmas falls on December 25th, and I noticed tanggal is in there right before the number 25.
Yeah, that's common practice. When you give the specific day number, you usually include tanggal, which means date.
Okay, got it. So we have some core words, and we know how to say something falls on a certain day or date using jatuh pada. But how do you actually ask when something is? The dialogue had setelah September, bulan apa ya? Which month after September?
Right. Asking questions is key. And the source breaks this down based on the kind of answer you're looking for. You've basically got 3 main question words for time and dates. Kapan, berapa, and apa.
Kapan. That sounds like the most general one, sort of like our when.
It is, yeah. The source describes kapan as the go-to for any general question about time. The answer could be, well, pretty much anything. A date, a day, a month, a year, a clock time, or just some moment like later or tomorrow.
Yeah.
The example given is straightforward. Kapan kamu akan datang ke sini?
When will you come here? And the answer could be tomorrow or next week or at 2 o'clock. Makes sense.
So kapan is your all-purpose when. Now, what about berapa? You heard that means how much or what?
Yeah, but how does it work with time?
Well, berapa is used when you need a specific number as the answer. And this is important. When you're asking about time, berapa comes after the noun.
After, okay.
Yeah. So the source gives these examples. Tahun berapa. That means what year? Asking for the year number.
Okay, like 2024?
Right. Then tanggal berapa for what date? Asking for the date number.
Like the 15th or the 25th?
Exactly. And jam berapa for what time? Asking for the hour number.
Ah, I see the pattern. So if I ask tanggal berapa kamu datang, I want the number, like the 10th. If I ask jam berapa dapatnya, I need the hour, like 3 o'clock.
You got it. And mixing up berapa and apa here is like a classic mistake for learners. You wouldn't ask bulan berapa because you're not asking for a number related to the month.
You're asking for its name.
Right, and that's where apa comes in.
Makes sense.
The source explained apa, meaning what, is used for asking about these non-numerical things. So you put apa after bulan to get bulan apa, which means what month or which month.
Okay.
Put it after hari apa, what day.
Just like in that opening dialogue. Setelah September, bulan apa ya? They needed the name of the month.
Exactly.
So quick recap. Apa for the name hari apa, bulan apa, berapa for the number, tanggal berapa, tahun berapa, jam berapa, and kapan for a general when. That actually clears things up a lot.
It really does streamline how you ask for the info you need. And speaking of calendars, the source also gives us the lists of the days of the week and the months of the year, which is, yeah, super handy reference material.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And this is where the source points out something kind of interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The months in Indonesian, January, February, Maret, and so on, they sound incredibly similar to English. It's almost too easy.
Yeah, you barely have to learn them.
Right. But then you look at the days of the week, Senin, Selasa, Rabu, Kamis, Jumat, Sabtu, Minggu, and they're totally different.
Completely different. Nothing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So that contrast is quite surprising, isn't it? It tells you where the real memorization work is. Months are easy, days need focus.
It really does highlight that. And the source gives a couple more quick sentences just to, reinforce how these phrases work.
Like, rapat jatuh pada hari Sabtu. The meeting falls on Saturday, so using jatuh pada with a day.
Yep. And tanggal berapa batas waktunya? What date is the deadline? Using tanggal berapa to ask specifically for that date number.
Nice. Just cements the usage. Okay, let's circle back to that Halloween example from the very beginning, because the source actually gives some interesting cultural context there.
It does, yeah. It points out that Halloween in Indonesia, well, it's not the huge dominant cultural thing it is in, say, the US or other Western countries. It's definitely more niche.
But it's still there. People do celebrate it.
Oh, yeah, it's not completely absent.
Yeah.
The source describes how it is marked. You might see some decorations around, maybe in malls or something. And the celebrations seem to be mostly for children and teenagers.
What do they do?
It involves costume parties, specifically scary ones. The source notes games, competitions. And these happen in different places.
Yeah.
People's homes, malls, hotels, restaurants, even nightclubs sometimes.
Interesting.
And here's a detail I thought was really cool from the source. It mentions a specific school somewhere in South Jakarta that holds this event where people watch horror movies together.
Okay.
And they dress up. But not just as like vampires or witches. They also dress up as famous Indonesian ghosts.
Yeah.
Traditional ones, like the Pocong or the Kuntilanak.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's like they take the imported holiday but give it a distinctly local flavor. Pocong and Kuntilanak at a Halloween party.
Exactly. It shows how these things get adapted and blended with the local culture. It adds this whole other layer, doesn't it? It's not just knowing the date, October 31st. It's understanding that for some people there, it involves these unique cultural expressions.
Absolutely. It's a great example of how just knowing date vocabulary connects you to actual cultural practices on the ground. So let's bring this all back to you, the listener. Why have we spent this time digging into these specific phrases and question structures? Why is this Indonesian date stuff important?
Well, because honestly, if you ever need to schedule anything, a meeting, coffee, whatever, or make plans, or even just understand when a holiday or event is happening, when someone tells you in Indonesian, these phrases are just essential.
Right.
Knowing jatuh pada is basically your main tool for saying when something is scheduled. It's like the bridge connecting the event to its spot on the calendar.
And getting those question words straight, kapan, berapa, apa, and knowing which one to use with hari, tanggal, bulan, tahun, or jam. That's the key to actually getting the information you need without causing that confusion we saw at the start.
Yeah, it stops you asking for a number when you need a name, or asking generally with kapan when you actually need a specific date using tanggal berapa.
It really does boost your ability to handle conversations about schedules and events, moving beyond just knowing isolated words. Okay, so to wrap up, we've looked at the core vocabulary, that really useful phrase, jatuh pada, its uses, and importantly, its limits. And maybe the trickiest bit, how to ask questions correctly about different time units using kapan, berapa, and apa, hopefully clearing up that common confusion.
And we touched on that cultural side too, with the Halloween example showing how dates link to culture.
It might seem like just a few language points, but actually together they give you a pretty powerful system for navigating time in Indonesian.
They really do.
And maybe that leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. Think about how much more capable you are now, just by grasping this handful of concepts from the source material, the keywords, how jatuh pada works, the logic behind kapan, berapa, and apa. You've basically gained the toolkit to place almost any event on the Indonesian calendar. Whether it's a simple meeting or understanding a cultural event like Halloween, and you can confidently ask the right questions to figure out when things are actually happening.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.